Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning back into my channel. Today's recipe is vegan orange chicken, and as always, it's super easy and super delicious, so let's go ahead and get started. What you'll need is 1 pack of tofu. You can use firm or extra firm. You'll need 1 cup of brown sugar. You can use dark brown or light. You need a few tablespoons of EVOO. You'll need 1.5 cups of water. You need 1 orange, half for the zest and the whole orange for the juice. You'll need 1/2 lemon just for the juice. You'll need a few cloves of garlic. I used about 2 to 3. You will need 1/2 teaspoon of freshly ground ginger root. You'll need 1 bell pepper. I use yellow, but feel free to use a red or orange. You will need 1/2 an onion. I used red. You will need 1/3 cup of vinegar. You'll need 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. You can also sub in flour if you prefer. And you'll need some sesame seeds. So what you're going to go ahead and do to get started is chop up your tofu into some large chunks. And while you're cutting that up, you'll also have your skillet going over medium heat with some oil in there getting hot, ready to fry. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, which is what I'm using, I go ahead and pop my skillet right into the oven. If you don't happen to have one, that's completely okay. But once the tofu's done frying, I will recommend transferring that to a baking sheet. And you're going to put it in the oven for about 20 minutes. Now I'm using some decent sized chunks here. I'm going to go ahead and get those right into my skillet over that medium heat with that olive oil in there. Make sure you try and get them all coated in olive oil just to prevent sticking, but don't worry about the sticky bits that get stuck there to the bottom of the skillet. Once we deglaze that down with the sauce, it will be completely okay, and we'll get those flavored bits going in the sauce, and it'll be really flavorful. So go ahead and get that frying, and you're just going to fry these up until they're brown on just about all sides. I'm going to go ahead and season this with some black pepper and some sea salt. And I'm going to turn them over and then add in a little more pepper and sea salt as well. And so tofu really cooks itself. It'll need a few turns here and there, but for the most part, you really just let it fry and brown. So once that's brown, you're going to go ahead and pop it into the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. And while that's in the oven, you're going to go ahead and make the sauce. What you're going to do is pour in your water, you're pouring your vinegar, and then for the orange and the lemon, you'll go ahead and give it a nice roll onto your cutting board just to get the juices going. On the orange, we're only going to zest half of it, but we are going to use the juice from the whole orange. And you'll see here that my orange zest gets stuck on the back of my grater. So I'm going to go ahead and use that vinegar water and my whisk just to get some of that zest to come out into the sauce bowl. And so next you'll see me grating the ginger. One note on that is please make sure that you peel the outside of the ginger. We're only going to be grating the actual ginger root itself on the inside. I'm not going to be using that peel on the outside. It has a really not a very good taste. So please make sure that you go ahead and peel that off and prepare it for the grater before you grate it down. And then again, you're just going to grate down about 1/2 teaspoon. And so the lemon's up next, and we're just going to use the juice from half. And I like to whisk just about after I add any ingredient, just to keep everything nice and combined. And the last thing that I like to add is the cornstarch or the thickener. I just like to add that in last and then whisk it all together just to make sure that once I pour it into the saucepan that it thickens up really nicely. So I want to make sure it's really well combined. Okay, and once you pull your tofu out of the oven, you're going to go ahead and scoot it over to one side. You're going to pour in your diced veggies on the other side. You're going to have the skillet going over medium heat, and you're going to season the veggies with a more black pepper and sea salt, and drop in a little bit of EVOO just to give the pan some moisture for those. So you're going to go ahead and get those veggies going until they soften up. Okay, so once those soften up, you're going to go ahead and pour in your sauce. Once your sauce starts bubbling, you're going to go ahead and scrape the bottom of the pan to get any of those stuck on bits off the bottom of the pan and combined into the sauce itself so that all of those flavors can come together. And then it'll take a few minutes, but the sauce will start to thicken. And once the sauce is thick to your liking, it's ready. So once that's ready, you can go ahead and pour it over the starch of your choice. You can use a jasmine rice, you can use white rice, you can use brown rice if you're trying to watch out for some of those carbs there, but I prefer a jasmine rice. It's super easy and super delicious. Oh, you'll also see me here dropping in a few teaspoons of the sesame seeds right into the sauce so it's combined, but once I pour that over my jasmine rice, I do add a little bit more sesame seeds on top, just for eye appeal, and that's it. It was super easy. All you really needed was one skillet, as long as you have a cast iron, and it's super delicious. So please comment below, let me know if you guys changed anything, let me know if you guys loved it, let me know if you're gonna go ahead and give it a try, and as always, please like and please subscribe. I always have more videos coming soon, and I do have more vegan recipes on my blog, prettybrownvegan.com, so go ahead and check that out. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye.